Greetings. This is first of many videos on using GameMaker. First thing we're going to do in order to get started is to launch GameMaker. You're going to go to the Start menu. You can either type in Game here and look for this icon, or it might be in the regular menu. You have to search for it. But the easiest thing to do is type in Game, and you're looking for this icon right here. Not any of these other ones, this one right here. And once that launches, you're going to get this the splash screen that's going to come up. You're going to see some recent games that were accessed. Avoid using that because remember, you're on a shared computer, so the recent game that is being used or programmed or played is probably someone else's game. So you want to avoid using this right here. If you get a pop-up about updating, you're going to say no. But to get started on the first game, we're going to go to the New tab that's right here. I'm going to click on that. And right here is how you browse out to your folder. I need you to be really, really careful about paying attention to what path is in here, what directory structure is in here, whose name is coming up here. You need to be really diligent because the more careful you are, the better chances you'll have of your work being not written over and having its integrity. Alright, so here my folder or directory structure is going to be different than yours because this is my personal computer. Again, you're on a shared one, so you're looking for, basically this should say documents, shared files, and then your name. Alright, again, if you don't see your name, it's not your folder. Okay, so you have to see your name. And the project, remember, get in the habit of naming your stuff accordingly. So if you're in 6th period, you'd put a 6 underscore your initials. Don't put AN unless your initials are AN. I'm looking for your initials here, right? Right here, that's your initials. So whatever class period you're in for technology, you're going to put that there. And then you're going to go ahead and put underscore, that's the shift minus. And then your initials, and then this is going to be our first game. So I'm just going to call this first game. And I'm going to say create. Okay, now it's going to create this. You're going to get to the basic structure of the video game. These are our resources. This is where you'll see once we start adding sprites and sounds and backgrounds, etc., all that here. When you double click on it here, it'll pop up here and you can edit that resource. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually create a resource. I'm going to go to Resource, Create Sprite, and I always start off sprites with the name SPR and then an underscore and then whatever it's going to be. So in this case, I'm looking for a brick and I'm going to say load sprite. And now the key here is I have to go find an actual brick. So give me a moment on that. Alright, so I found where I stored this wall file or brick file, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to make sure I check remove background. The reason is I only want the picture to be, or the sprite I should say, to be this wall section, not the big piece of white around it. Okay, so I'm going to say open that. I'm going to make sure I click center here. And you can see this showing up right here. The width and the height are 64 by 64. That's fine. And then in order to make this consistent, I'm actually going to just change the name of this. I'm going to call this wall. And I'm going to say OK. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this a basic maze game. Okay, so now I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to duplicate it. And what that means is instead of browsing out to find the image again, I can just use what I have, except this time I'm going to edit this and I'm going to just change the color a little bit. So I'm looking for like a gold color. Sure, that's close enough. And I'll call that the gold wall. Okay. And now I need another sprite, and that's going to be my character, or my maze runner, if you will. So I'm going to load that, and I'm going to grab this guy right here. Remove the background again. I'm going to click open, and I'm going to call this SPR runner. Because again, that's my maze runner. So I'm going to center that. I'm going to say OK. And actually, I'm going to make this SPR runner, and I'm going to put an underscore for U because he's facing up. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to say SPR, let's see, underscore runner, and we'll do D. I'm going to edit this, transform, and I'm going to flip this, and I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to check that and make sure center's clicked, and then OK. See, now he's facing up here. Here he's facing down. You get a preview of the sprites. And I'm going to duplicate this again. And I'm going to call this SPR underscore runner underscore L. I'm going to make this one face to the left. And yep, there it is. I'm going to say OK. Checkbox there. And that's good. And then I'm going to right click on this. And duplicate this again. SPR underscore runner underscore R. And that's so that he faces to the right. And I'm going to mirror flip that, and I'm OK there, and we're good. Okay, so now I have all of my sprites that I'm going to be using. Now I need to actually go ahead and start creating the objects. Remember, the sprites are just the images or the graphical representation of something. The objects are what you're going to actually program, and that'll be in the next video.